Thank you all. You all hung in there. I know it was long, but so good and so juicy. Okay. Dr. Mark Pimentel, in case those of you who just came because of the topic and you weren't sure exactly who he is, he and his team at Cedars-Sinai in the MAST program, which is working on a cure for SIBO, a cure for IBS. They are, you can attribute the use of Rifaximin for this condition to Dr. Mark Pimentel, and the incredible results of the recent MBiotic Elemental Diet. He's the first one who suggested Elemental Diet. He and Dr. Ali Rezai and the team there are working diligently, like crazy diligently, every single day, 24/7, the longest of anyone working on this in research. That's who Dr. Mark Pimentel is. And I could go on for another hour about how special he is. So he has Gemelli Labs. He doesn't know I'm saying all this. He has Gemelli Labs, and that's where tirelessly is located. So that's where you would get that tirelessly breath test, which is the only test right now that tests for all three gases. In a minute, after I sort of gather myself, I will put some links for Gemelli Labs, which is also where you can get the ibs-smart test, which is what tests for the antibodies for food poisoning. What for me, when I found out that I had the antibodies from food poisoning, probably from age 5 to 7 with several episodes, what that did for me was it made me very compliant with doing a Prokinetic. A lot of you, I mean, there are 136 open questions. I've answered 103. So we're doing our best, but I wanted to let you know that a lot of you are asking about what to do after treatment to avoid relapse and a variety of things. Dr. Siebecker, world-renowned SIBO specialist, who is our co-host today, and my dear friend, she bought me a t-shirt for my birthday that said, "Are you on a Prokinetic?" Because I ask it so many times in our small group coaching and when we're doing Q&As for the SIBO Recovery Roadmap course, for the SIBO and IBS membership, where we have monthly calls. So that is so consistently overlooked, not just by us as patients, right? She's a doctor, but also by practitioners. So this is one of the blind spots of the 9-step algorithm treatment protocol that Dr. Pimentel created, and then Dr. Steven Sandberg-Lewis and Dr. Siebecker added to, and then I even threw something in there. So that's what we call the compass method within the SIBO recovery roadmap. So prokinetics, if you don't know what they are, they impact the migrating motor complex, which is really at the root of all of this, because when that is impaired, you're not sweeping out the debris from the small intestine, and that's when overgrowth can occur. Okay, the other thing I wanted to address is that we have no control of who goes into the study. Okay, so a lot of you are like, "Hey, I want to be in the study. I want to be in the study." Bless you, I get it. We literally asked him kind of a question about that, and he's like, what I got from that, Dr. Siebecker, is like, we have people waiting in the wings for the studies, big time.
Well, for the first study, and then when he goes to phase 2, that's when they'll do open enrollment. So for anyone asking, you can just go onto the Cedars website. They show when they're taking enrollments for studies. If he lets me know, I've sent emails many times in the past helping recruit for their studies. So if you're on my email list, you will, which is at SIBO Info, you will get notified.
Perfect.
And Siobhan, I did grab those. I saw someone was just asking about what I grabbed those links if you want me to post them in.
I have them so organized.
Okay.
I was going to post them, but then I thought, oh my gosh, my screen is getting shared. And so I was concerned that you guys would see my crazy chat threads, which no one.
Do you want me to post them?
I got it right.
You got it. Okay.
But check to make sure we have all of them that you want. Okay, so
I just, some people were just asking what were all the things he said for bloating, and I took note and I put them there.
Oh, well, then go ahead and pop it in there. So so Gemelli Labs is where you can get this tirelessly 3-gas breath test.
Oh, I'm sorry, my links aren't being active now. Okay. I have links for people. I have the names, but I don't know why my links aren't being active.
Want to text it to me, Dr. Siebecker, I can try.
Okay.
But also at Gemelli Labs is where you get the ibs-smart test. Okay, there's something else that I want to tell you. This is Antibiotic. This is the elemental diet that Dr. Mark Pimentel and Dr. Ali Rezai created. I have my batch here. you get, the link is in there. You get this cool cup, which is like, a lot of us have cups already that are, the kind of the ball in it. It's stainless. They have two flavors, an orange and an original. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Woo! As I spill it, there you go. That's what it looks like. It is quite sweet. It's definitely better than the older versions of the Elemental Diet. There's some other brands as well. This is the one that was just most recently studied. It comes in a box. You get 7 boxes. And I think we have a coupon, Dr. Siebecker.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Do we? Could you share that with me? Because that.
Yeah, it's hold on, I can get it for you right now. One second, sorry guys.
Okay, great.
My screen up, I have it right here.
So
it is SIBO 50 for $50 off.
Nice.
And it's a one-time use. So if you've already used that, there's also another coupon for $25 off, and that's SIBO. Like if you're wanting to buy more. So SIBO 50 or SIBO. SIBO 50 gives you the larger.
Okay. 425. Okay. All right.
And I just emailed you that, Shimon.
Emailed or texted?
I had to because I couldn't text him.
Got it. Oh, okay. I will grab that. So give me another second. So those are some of the things I wanted to just like sort of cover right there. And if you go and look at the links we just posted, you can get a discount on Fullscript from Dr. Siebecker for the sustained release NAC. And she suggests you keep it in the freezer. It is not the exact kind that he is using in his studies. He's working on that, right?
I think just sustained release is enough. And I think if you don't have sustained release, that's when you would want to keep it in the freezer to try to get some sustained release activity. But I think sustained release NAC would be your best bet before his actual treatment comes out. I saw people asking, should you take it ahead of the Rifaximin? Dr. Pimentel didn't explicitly say that this time. The idea with sustained release is that it's going to release over some time. So it seems like you could take them together, or I'm sorry, you would want to take it ahead a little bit and let it do a little bit of its job because it has to get past the stomach, right? Do a little bit of its job and then take the Rifaximin. How much ahead, I don't know. Somebody said that they remembered him saying 30 minutes from last year. I don't remember him saying 30 minutes from last year. So, we're just trying to piecemeal this together until the official medicine comes out.
Okay, here is the bunch. See, your links aren't alive either, Allison. I don't know why.
Yeah, it must be that I need to have the actual whole HTTP thing. It's
but my links are
great.
So okay, so just keep scrolling up. Okay. Will this recording be sent out? Yes. So don't get stressed. We will be sending it out. Absolutely. And let's look at some Q&As. Okay.
And I don't see your links. Oh, there they are. I see them. Yep.
Yeah, you just have to scroll up.
In the chat.
The links in the chat are working. Yep. Okay, I'm going to repost it and I'm going to get to some questions for you, Dr. Siebecker. Thank you all for coming. We love having you. Paste. There they are. All righty. The Q&A, we're not going to obviously be able to get to everybody, but we will do our best to get to as many people as possible. It is 4. We started at 2:30. So, we've been on for an hour and a half and we will stay on for a little bit longer and do our best. And then also feel free to join us for the Q&A that we're doing August 7th. You have some options there. It's up there in the top of the chat in that same grouping. There's also that discount for Embiata. And don't forget about Gemelli Labs being Trio-Smart and where you also get ibs-smart, which is the test for the antibodies. Okay. Hi, Bryce. What would you suggest for the feeling of urgency, specifically more in the mornings after food?
Well, probably the first thing that I would suggest is finding out if you have SIBO or not. And then if you have it, go through that treatment. That would be the number one thing. I'd want to look at why you haven't, right? Because after that, we're just going to be talking about, sort of like whack-a-mole, trying to do symptomatic relief when we don't know really what's causing it, right? Because what if it's hydrogen sulfide SIBO? What if it's one of the forms of SIBO, one of the gases? Then we could take care of it by treating it. You know, a lot of times people get urgency in the morning as the cortisol rises and as we start having reflexes. I mean, of course, you're not being specific, like, is it after drinking something? Is it after, is there anything stimulating it? Just drinking in the morning can stimulate that gastrocolic reflux and things like that. So depending on how much time you have in the morning before this happens, you could do some charcoal in the morning, activated charcoal. You could also try activated charcoal at night before bed. You could get, without knowing if it's SIBO or not, you could get a cortisol saliva test, find out, is your cortisol too high in the morning? And if it was, you could do things to help mitigate that. That's about the best I can say right now.
Okay. Yes, we will put the links in the follow-up email. And we will also have it on Dr. Siebecker's YouTube channel and the SIBO_SOS YouTube channel. So those are other options for you. That's not up yet, but we will get it there.
Yeah, we put the links in the description. A lot of times people don't know how to find that. It's like,
good point.
You hit more underneath the video and a whole box opens with information.
Yep. Okay. Literally I'm playing lotto because there are so many questions and we love you all so much. There's two people have this gallbladder. How does the gallbladder impact the possibility of SIBO, and does it increase your like chances of getting SIBO? And by the way, Michael, thank you for your email today. We're working on it. Okay, what about the gallbladder, Dr. Siebecker?
Does a certain like condition of the gallbladder,
like if it's removed or it's hyperkinetic, it's not working well?
It's not one of our main things that we think about as a connection. Where the connection that I think about comes from is that bile is involved in the cleansing wave, that Dr. Pimentel was talking about. The medical term for that is the migrating motor complex. So if you are low in bile, that many people have, like deficiency of bile, that can make your migrating motor complex not be as effective. Because the migrating motor complex, the cleansing wave, it's both mechanical in that it's like a physical scrubbing action, but the bile and enzymes are released at the same time during it. And that's kind of like the soap. It's kind of like, when you scrub your dishes with a scrubber and soap. So that's one of the ways when you have low bile. When you have your gallbladder removed, very often what happens is the tubes and the liver sort of take over the function of the gallbladder. You still make bile, it's just not being stored there in the gallbladder. So it doesn't mean you don't have enough bile per se. So my biggest concern is with low bile.
Okay, and plus, doesn't bile help rifaximin to be more effective, Dr. Siebecker?
Oh, thanks for bringing that up. So rifaximin is bile soluble. Very good point. So it works best when there's enough bile. And so because of that, there are some physicians that just automatically give a bile pill, ox bile supplement when they give rifaximin, just for extra insurance to be sure, because maybe they don't know if their patient has low bile or not. I don't always do that. I don't just give it to everybody, but it can certainly be done in patients that have deficiency of bile.
Okay, somebody's saying when they're going onto Fullscript, it's saying something weird. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen for a second.
It could be that I think I shared potentially some direct links. I'm not sure if I did, but you might just have to sign in if that's the case.
If you don't have an account on Fullscript, you can find links on Dr. Siebecker, SIBOinfo.com.
And on SIBO SOS, you have it there.
Right. So discounts, there you are. So when you click that link, we are asking for your email and whatever name. What's really cool is when you do this, not only will you get the discount of 15 to 20% on Fullscript through Dr. Siebecker's dispensary, she has a gut supplement masterclass that when you sign me up, you will get that. And it's really, really helpful. So I just wanted to suggest that.
I can share my screen to show what the page looks like.
Okay.
I don't know what, I'm sorry that you're having a problem, but this is what it looks like when you have to sign in. And if you don't have an account, you just make one for free.
And I'm going to put our customer service email there in the chat. So if you all are having any additional issues, Do me a favor though, if you can Google something, Google it. Don't like just ask us what something is when we're just going to Google it ourselves. We're happy to help, but info@sibosos.com. Like if you're having a Fullscript issue or whatever. All righty. Bile being animal-based or plant-based.
I wonder if they mean like the supplement to take. I mean,
Yeah,
bile is an animal
it's
product.
an animal product.
I mean, usually it's ox bile. That's how it's sold in supplements, so it's not vegan.
Right.
I mean, you could take other components that are vegan that are in bile, like phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, etc.
You guys, if
Yes.
you're getting a link for Dr. Siebecker's doesn't apply to Canada, her Fullscript. Sorry, Ramona.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Dr.
It's only for US.
Can you grab your general Fullscript link and shoot it over to me in text? Because the direct links aren't working. Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing about Prokinetic. Should I start taking that or wait until after the hernia surgery? So the thing about Prokinetics is, so Sarah was talking about how she wants to prevent relapse after surgery. And Prokinetics help to prevent relapse. Maybe you could just talk about what a Prokinetic is, since a lot
Okay, I'm getting that link.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it in the chat. Sorry.
Okay, great.
I'll have to check out what link isn't working so I know to fix it. There we go. So I just put the link over to my Fullscript. Everyone is welcome to have a discount there. Okay, so basically the question is, what are prokinetics? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, prokinetics they can be like supplemental or herbal, like natural, or they can be prescription. So they're agents or medicines that stimulate the migrating motor complex that I was just talking about. That's the cleansing wave, the cleaning wave that has the bile and the enzymes and everything. And that's the number one reason, a lack of that is the number one reason in the body why we get SIBO. There's all sorts of diseases and all sorts of things that can cause a deficiency of the migrating motor complex, food poisoning being the one that Dr. Pimentel was highlighting. So prokinetics stimulate that for people who have a deficiency of it. And so we have things like ginger, we have iberogast. We have a link for you for that. IBS Shield is a similar one. We have prescriptions like prucalopride, which is sold as motility. That's probably our strongest and safest prescription option. So they're very, very helpful. And they can be used to help all kinds of symptoms as well.
Steve Pearson, good to see you. I'm glad you have a mini schnauzer too. I knew I loved you. He's saying he was in the LA area and he's close to the motility clinic and got into a study. That's great. Reach out to Cedars-Sinai. Guys, don't over focus on the bile, okay? Because now everybody's like, well, what enzyme? What enzyme? This is
bile is like my first thing I said to that question is the association of the gallbladder and bile is not a major association with SIBO. That was the first thing I said. It's like, that's not our main thing we think about.
Right. So don't over focus on that.
And if you're worried about like, I mean, I've given bile to maybe a handful of patients when I've given Rifaximin, and I've had incredible success with people. So you don't have to take it.
Yeah, don't over focus on that. Okay, let's see. We're what time is it? Okay. Dr. Siebecker, can you do another 15 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone would like to be in the study. I understand. We gotcha. Go reapproach Cedars-Sinai. What happens after you stop doing the elemental diet? We hear this question all the time.
So I never did anything special with pretty much all the patients I ever put through elemental diet. When they would stop it, they would just stop it and begin eating whatever they wanted, and usually it's a SIBO diet. We advise a SIBO diet afterwards, of which there are many options. So some kind of a SIBO diet. And for many people, they just feel so much better, right? Sometimes, like because you're not eating solids, there might not be bowel movements. Sometimes there still are during a elemental diet, but of course those will start to come back then when you begin eating again. Some people, so basically reactions vary. Some people feel sort of tired after doing elemental diet. Very few, I would say. They don't respond, like it didn't give them energy. They feel sort of worn out. And so then it takes them a little few days or whatever to get their energy back when they start eating. That's rare. I'd say most people just, they're feeling better. right? So I never did anything special. People just began eating back to their SIBO diet, and they were great. But then our friend and colleague, Debbie, she she has this whole program where she does all this stuff before and all of this special diet after. I mean, I would sometimes tell people optionally, if you wanted, you could do like the prep diet before the test for your like day one after elemental diet. But she just has excellent success, and she loves to, doing elemental diet with people. And she loves to do sort of like a special sort of transition diet. And I think that's wonderful. But I guess I want you to know we've had wonderful success. I've had great success with people without doing that. So it isn't necessary. So, and so you don't have to do a special transition diet. You could do one. Either way is fine. And what will you feel after? Just it's sort of like after taking herbal antibiotics or antibiotics, we see all sorts of things from fantastic to, they had a side effect. So.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
I hope that was the way they wanted the question, because another answer I could think of is you take a test, you retest after the elemental diet, right? Make sure it's gone.
Guys, go to SIBO_SOS on YouTube and Dr. Siebecker's YouTube channel.
Which is SIBO info.
Thank you. Because there is a lot more Dr. Pimentel, Dr. Rezai, the recent study on Embiota. And by the way, would you do us a huge favor and subscribe? Because it really helps us to reach more people without us having to buy an ad, blah, blah, blah. So please, please, please do that. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah, we've been doing like single question videos so that you can quickly and easily find applicable questions, and you don't have to sit through an hour of a video. It's like single question videos.
And we also have the hour videos up there too, for those of you who want to go the distance. Okay, let's see here. Did Dr. Pimentel and Rezai create the Rifaximin drug?
No, that was in existence beforehand. They were just one of the earlier teams. The Italians, I think, created it. And were first studying it, but then a team of Italians, but then they were some of the first to decide that it could be useful for SIBO and IBS.
So let's talk about antibiotics for IMO, methanogen overgrowth. So Jocelyn's saying, is neomycin or metronidazole more effective? And then we have a question about nitazoxanide. So
I find them to be equally effective. So, what we're doing is we're taking rifaximin and either neomycin or metronidazole. Metronidazole is also known as Flagyl in the US. They're equally effective in my clinical experience. And then nitazoxanide, which is known as Alinea in many different countries, I usually personally come to that one last, because I personally clinically haven't found it as effective as the neomycin or metronidazole. I have colleagues who disagree and have a different clinical experience, and they use that first. So, it all just depends on the type of patient population you're seeing. So all three of those could be your choices. One of them you add with rifaximin or methane.
A lot of you are having ongoing conversations with me in the Q&A, and I can't keep track because there's so many things flooding in. So Dara is asking a question. A lot of people have this question. Is rifaximin only for IBS-D, it's diarrhea, or it can be used for IBS-C, constipation, or mixed?
Rifaximin we use for all types of SIBO. But it's just that when you're treating methane, you use it with another antibiotic as well, which I just described. That's double antibiotic therapy. And the same with hydrogen sulfide, you add bismuth. So rifaximin is the standard for all types. And so we use it for every form.
Let's talk about the price of rifaximin, because a lot of people are, okay, now I've heard him say, and you're more open maybe to it. Well, and you've maybe also come up against it being super expensive. So what do you want to say about that, Dr. Siebecker?
Well, there's several things that you can do. You can ask your doctor to connect with the rep and get samples. And sometimes they can get enough samples to cover, a 14-day treatment. You can ask for that. There's also like an assistance program, a patient assistance program for those on low income for Rifaximin. So you can ask your doctor to help you initiate that, or you can reach out to the company, which is Salix, and look online for those forms. There's also coupons, various coupons that the company offers, or places like GoodRx offers. Some people's insurance covers it, right? So you find out if your insurance covers it. It's fantastic when it does. Sometimes there's some hoops you have to jump through first, or sometimes you have to prescribe it in a slightly, different, write it in a different way, ask the doc, to try different things. But then some people will also get it through, like people in the US at least, will get it through Canadian pharmacies who can import it from various countries. And there's options here. You can get what I sort of refer to as branded Rifaximin, like from Italy or from the UK. And it's regular old, like in the US, it's called Xifaxan. It might have a slightly different name in different countries, but it's the same substance, right? And so, but it'll be maybe half the price. So maybe it'll be $500 instead of $1,000. And then there's the option of unbranded, like basically generic. And this is where you have to be a little bit careful with what you're trying, because there's just a myriad of generic brands, basically, different places that make it. And I have run into some trouble with various generic brands. But one brand that I always pass along from my colleagues who have found it to be okay in their experience, I'm not speaking from my experience, I'm just passing on what my colleagues say, is Rifax, Rcifax. And I know that used to be available, I think it still is, from Mark's Marine Pharmacy, a Canadian pharmacy. I think it's canshipmeds.com. I hope I got that right. There might be other Canadian pharmacies that carry it as well. And then that's going to be much cheaper. But, I am not endorsing that from my experience. I'm passing along what my colleagues have told me.
What is augmented NAC?
Well, Augmentin is an antibiotic, and Dr. Pimentel and myself and a lot of other docs, we've been using this more and more for hydrogen and even methane SIBO types in the last several years. You may have heard Dr. Pimentel talk about it, in some of our previous sessions. So that is an option you can think of using, if you're having trouble with getting Rifaximin. Now, the NAC is its own thing, right? Yes, so, and we talked about that already, and Dr. Pimentel, none of us have really tried, I've never heard him talk about Augmentin and NAC. So
they're saying augmented NAC.
I think it's just a misspelling.
Okay. So Monica,
unless they need
the brand that's got that like written on the label.
Oh, okay. So it's just I'm serious, it's just a form of NAC or something like that.
I don't know, because I don't have the bottle.
Look, so long as it's sustained release, I don't know the brand.
Danielle is saying it's to clear spike proteins. Okay, we're going back to some more questions.
I don't know about that.
Okay, we have 12 more minutes, guys. So the transcript, let's talk about that for a second, because there's so much here. In YouTube, you'll see a transcript, but I know it's nice to kind of see it all together. You can play the recording on otter.ai, which is a free app. You can like upgrade for like many more hours. But in order to get like a transcript all printed out, that's my suggestion. Go to otter.ai. It's a free app. It works extremely well. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was, if you do go to Fullscript, you're going to see areas where Dr. Siebecker has created sections of, here are Prokinetics. Here's what she likes for like allergies. Here's what she likes for symptom management. So she's created what they're called community plans. And so you can see the ones that she likes. I don't know about, I'm sure that they're working on having ibs-smart around the world. You can reach out to Gemelli Labs.
Oh, there is a place. Hold on, it's just going to take me 1 second to get you that information.
Awesome.
Un momento. There's a lab that has, I believe, that has it worldwide. I'm gonna bring it up.
Oh, good.
It is, yeah, it's called CoLab, CoLab, CoLab. They carry TrioSmart and ibs-smart
Nice.
worldwide.
Collab. Okay. Let's see here. When in the day do we take the Prokinetic?
So for SIBO, the way we're taking it is at night before bed. Dr. Pimentel mentioned that as well in the end of that session we did. So at night before bed, because we want to stimulate the migrating motor complex, the cleaning wave, while we're sleeping, because it only happens when we're fasting. That's when that wave occurs. So it happens between meals, so long as we're not snacking and we're not drinking like coffee or caloric beverages or soda or something. If you're just drinking water, it will happen between meals, and it'll happen overnight when we're sleeping because we're not eating because we're sleeping. So that's why we take it at night before bed. However, if you are using a Prokinetic to treat various symptoms, then you can use it in a different way. Like for instance, if you're using it to help gastroparesis or slow stomach emptying or nausea, you can take it before meals. If you're using it to try to help clear up bloating that happened after a meal, then you take it after the meal when the bloating occurs. So we can use them symptomatically, like something like Iberogast, for instance, we use like that, or IBS Shield is a really good dupe for that. Then you can use it like that.
Tudca, TUDCA, is a nice vegan choice for a complement to the idea
Bile question.
Yeah, bile question. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, Dolores, about, oh, that's so sweet. Dolores and Ramona, you guys are talking. So Dolores is saying, Ramona, she can send you something in Fullscript. You guys find each other on Facebook or something. Let's see here. Is there any reason to not start a Prokinetic during SIBO treatment?
I think it's okay to start it. You know, I think really the only reason would be cost concern. You know, if it's not covered on insurance or something like that, and you're paying out of pocket for maybe a prescription one, the time you most need it is when you've finished your antibacterial treatment. So I'd say that would be the main reason. But medically, I think it's fine to begin it.
And then, hold on, it was right there. Do you use Prokinetics for IMO to try to cure? So if people have diarrhea, a lot of times they don't have clarity in their thinking about a Prokinetic. They think that it's going to make their diarrhea worse.
Oh, of course, yeah. The classic question. So a Prokinetic is not a laxative. Nowhere in its definition does it say it's trying to produce a bowel movement or loosen stool, which is what the definition of a laxative is. So laxatives are things like, you know, Cascara sagrada and, you know, high dose magnesium or vitamin C, things like this. There's plenty of other ones. A Prokinetic is meant to move the small intestine migrating motor complex and also the esophagus and stomach. So the upper GI, that's its primary target, is to do that. Now, some Prokinetics will have activity also in the large intestine. And what we typically find, and those are more so prescription ones. And what we typically find is it's about dose in that case. So a higher dose is more likely to affect the large intestine, whereas a lower dose isn't. And so the classic example of this is prucalopride, which is Motegrity in the US, or Resolor or Resitran in Canada or UK. And so what we do for SIBO is we use it at a 0.5 milligram or maybe 1 milligram. But typically we start at a 0.5 milligram to stimulate the migrating motor complex taken before bed. But if you continue to increase the dose, it can have an effect on the large intestine. And studies were done at that at 2 and 4 milligrams. And at 2 and 4 milligrams, it helped constipation. But there are some people that it still won't even work like that for them, even at 2 and 4 milligrams. So the dose matters with those sorts of things.
Is Triphala a Prokinetic or a laxative?
It has a very mild prokinetic effect. So we do like that. You know, the neem that we typically use, one of our herbal antibiotics, is neem plus because it has a little triphala in it. And it's nice to get that little prokinetic effect. It also has maybe the mildest of mild laxative effects. I mean, once again, it's going to be about dose, right? If you really went much higher dose, it might have that laxative effect.
I'm going to post something that Steve Pearson, our longtime SIBO friend, just popped in my chat. Thank you, Steve. This is I don't know if that's, okay, I don't know if that's public, Stephen. because that's in the SIBO recovery roadmap course. Anyway, there is a patient, what do they call it? Like support for, with, did you already say that, Dr. Siebecker, with Salix?
Yes, but yes, please post it. Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure if
Like a
that's,
patient assistance program. It's a financial assistance program. Yeah, I mentioned it. I think he's just helping people with the link. That's great.
yeah, but I'm not sure if it's in the course and so the public can't see it or not. So just Google that because that could be super helpful. Okay. Oh, can Imodium, interesting, be used with the elemental diet? Because I developed severe diarrhea after 48 hours. You asked if I'm using a prokinetic. I'm not when on Antibiotic. I hope it's okay that I'm asking again because this question wasn't answered. I mean, I'm doing my best. So you're doing the elemental diet, you have diarrhea. So what would you do?
Look, if you've got severe diarrhea on elemental diet, usually, to me, what I would want to do is I would want to switch your elemental diet, and start playing around with the different ingredients. This is where I would want to switch someone probably to homemade elemental diet. For those of you who don't know, I created a homemade elemental diet recipe. It's on siboinfo.com. You can get it. Because we have control over the various ingredients. Oftentimes it's the oil. There is MCT oil. I actually just talked to Dr. Razai about this. You'll be seeing that interview coming out in the future. MCT oil is in Antibiotic, and a lot of people know that when you start that, you have to just be a little careful with it. Sometimes it can cause some GI distress, and it could cause diarrhea in some people. But I've seen this commonly. Various oils can cause diarrhea, not just that one. So if you switch to homemade, you can then play around with your different oils. You could try olive oil, you could try coconut oil, you could try walnut oil, whatever, and see how that goes. But to your specific question, can you use Imodium? Yes, you sure could. I'm a little bit more concerned that I would be concerned that the elemental diet isn't quite the best match for your particular constitution.
Stephen, if you could put the link, chat it to me in the chat, and then I'll chat it to everybody. Okay, let's see here. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm not going to try.
No, I just see that because I have the chat up on the side. Someone's asking if I do consultations via telemedicine. I don't see patients at this time, but Siobhan and I do have a couple ways you can connect with us. We do a membership with Q&A every month, and we do coaching, which is much more individual. So I don't know, Siobhan, if you want to put those links in there.
Done. Boom. It's at the very top.
Oh my gosh, right there.
Okay, and now, Steve, thank you. Let me see if I can pull this off. He's doing the Rifaximin copay savings program link that.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, would a regular dose of Rifaximin keep SIBO at bay? If so, what dose would you recommend? Also, what medication would be suggested for pain management?
Okay, so a regular dose of Rifaximin keeping SIBO at bay, the way that I can think about this question is in people who have really a form of a very tough case where basically we treat them with an antimicrobial, like an antibacterial, but then they are relapsing very quickly, even while on a prokinetic, sometimes two prokinetics, and a SIBO diet, and they're still relapsing very quickly. That is when we think of using a low dose of Rifaximin ongoing to help keep the SIBO at bay. So that is the scenario when I would think of that. And what dose are we using? Like a half of a 550 tablet or maybe a 550. So I wouldn't recommend that as your standard thing to do. I would always recommend a prokinetic before that, even two prokinetics, and some form of a SIBO diet.
Okay, couple of things because we are out of time. There's some ingredients I can't do, like methylated B vitamins, thanks to SNP Nutrition, where they did my DNA, and now I know I can't do that. In some of the elemental diets, there is folate, which is not good for me as an individual, right? I talked to some people about this because I didn't want to not do it as a meal substitute or all, integrate it into my life. And if you're doing a treatment, it was just proposed to me that it's really like Dr. Pimentel said about some of the other antibiotics, even though Embiotic is a medical food, and Elemental Diet is a medical food diet. It's for 2 weeks. So it's not like forever is the point. So if there is like somebody's asking about, I'm allergic sensitive to MSG, would I be able to take Embiotic, which has L-glutamine in it? That's so individualized. I don't know how one could answer that. Maybe reach out to them and see what they have to say. You'd be surprised. These, Gemelli Labs, all these, these organizations, a lot of them are small. Like they really care. Like I'm not saying that everybody has perfect customer service. I bleed for our customer service, and ours is still not perfect. Like seriously, like I stress over it because we really want to make sure you get what you need. But a lot of times, I think in the past, I would think, oh, if I write them an email, they'll never write me back. I'm thrilled and surprised at how many times I do get responses. So that's just a suggestion. And I know it's easy to get cynical and be like, no one's helping me. No one's getting back to me or whatever. But just, I would be a little persistent. Also, if you really have some other questions that have to do with companies, I do want to recommend reaching out to the CEOs on LinkedIn because I've gotten some amazing results that way. Okay. Let's put some love into the chat for Dr. Siebecker. Thank you, Dr. Siebecker, for all those.
Oh, thank you for your wonderful questions. And wasn't that presentation by Dr. Pimentel
Dr. Pimentel, thank you.
So many questions from us, and isn't it just so exciting? I mean, I can tell how excited you all are about the new methane drug and everything. Things are coming now. This is very exciting.
And even though it's not here yet, it is coming. So it's very easy to get super excited and then frustrated, but let's get rid of the frustration and let's be proactive. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. And there are answers. That Embiotic is, 100% effective against hydrogen SIBO in studies. So that is incredible. And then the results for the IMO also huge. These are now proven. A lot of people have gotten well from Elemental Diet in the past, and then we don't see them anymore because they go off in their lives, and SIBO and IMO are in the back of their minds, long gone in the rear view mirror. So we get it, but it is there is a lot of hope. So thank you all very much for being here and really investing in yourselves in this time. We will send out the replay. We will do our best to get you as many links as possible that we've been talking about. Some of them have coupons, which is super cool. If you do want to get help from Dr. Siebecker and myself, we do have the small group coaching. We have the monthly Q&A call. And then we also have the new membership, which is the SIBO and IBS support membership. I always get the name tongue twister there.
Yeah, we're so excited to do this. Now we're doing, monthly calls, monthly Q&As. I'm very excited about it.
And it's our 10th anniversary of doing this work together. So it's very, very exciting. And thanks, Karen, for being here. Thanks, everybody. You ready, Dr. Siebecker?
Big hug.
Big hugs, everybody. If anyone wants to come on to the camera, I will see if I can open everybody's camera up. If you don't, you're like, oh, hell no, run away. If you do stay on camera, we'd love to get a screenshot, share it with Dr. Pimentel. And by staying on, it means that you give me a release to do so. If you don't, run away. We'll see you next time. And if you want more information about, okay, hold on. Thank you, Michael. We love you. We love you all. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you want to stay on and be in this photo, I don't know. It's like a last minute thing. I'm just let's see, Dr. Siebecker. Does anyone know how to do this? So I can turn everybody's camera on.
Do you have to make people panelists or?
This is obviously not planned. Obviously not planned, Siobhan. Let's see. Show the participant list. No. Does anyone? You can't because this is it's a webinar. Never mind. We'll catch you next time. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Mwah.
Bye, everyone.
Love you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.